What's going on, guys? Welcome to another live that we're doing today, and I'm super pumped because we got Anthony from EN2 Corporation. And Anthony, say what's up to everybody, man.
How's it going, guys? Just checking in here.
Yeah, Anthony, you're in the office, right? You're here with the whole crew, so we might see or hear people out and about doing work, but we're trying to squeeze in a little live for the people that are trying to level up the social media game, people that are trying to understand how can they use digital media to leverage their construction business. First off, maybe share a little bit about the company that you're a part of and what your role is there.
Yeah, so I'm with EN2 Development Corp. We're a GC out of Toronto, Ontario. Been in operation since about 2005, 2006. There's two partners, Nuno. They started off, the guys that were on the site, kind of going through doing the work themselves, eventually built a couple of nice homes, got some recognition, and now we're a full-fledged GC in various spaces, such as the cannabis world, retail storefronts, commercial, industrial, and a couple other things.
Awesome. Yeah. And because this is just a 30-minute convo, we're going to dive right in. Most construction companies tend to be a little bit more reluctant jumping into social media marketing or digital marketing. If the primary thing that you do is construction work on commercial building or for other companies, it's hard to see how social media can add anything to your bottom line. You're thinking B2B, how do we get this stuff? Like you guys said, you do commercial work. Even if your construction company does interact directly with customers or homeowners, social media doesn't feel always like a natural fit for construction. So the big question is why invest in social media marketing for your construction company? Like, is this actually something that works for construction companies?
Yeah, so to build on that, Bart, I think a lot of people, when they get into the construction space, a lot of it is word of mouth, right? The oldest, truest way of marketing, just referrals and stuff like that. However, as you start to get bigger and progress, the word of mouth is great, but there's always, what if? Who am I not reaching? What's going on in the background? So the social media aspect of it is good because you're able to reach out to candidates that wouldn't be within your first or second degree of circles from contacts. And it also builds an online presence. So similar to a website, which, you guys do and a lot of great work, the website works 24/7. Your business hours might be 9 to 5 or whatever, but your website's always up and running. Same with your social media. You don't have a platform that's out there representing the brand and what you guys are representing and want to portray. That's not going to correlate into your future goals and other customers that you're not diving into.
Yeah, and in the construction world, you guys are the experts in transformation, and that's such a natural win on social media. No matter what type of transformation, whether it's a completely new build, mid-rise, 15 floors, or it's going to be a home renovation, people want to see the before and after. Think HGTV and the popularity of it. People like to see you took something from this to that, and I understand that storyline. That story translates very well on social media. So I feel like whether you're doing home renovations, let's say you're redoing a basement, if you talk about that online, people will immediately be excited about what it is you're doing. And if you're thinking of B2B, even something like LinkedIn, where you're seeing the different partnerships of different companies and how they're relating to your industry, you can now be a voice in that conversation and have direct access that you would otherwise wouldn't ever have access to. So I think, is it useful for construction? I think there's so much room and space there that everybody can carve a little piece out to speak directly to the people that are looking for them. You can do, local search and SEO if you have a website. So the digital marketing side, I think, has tons of reputation. This is the way that I would think about it. Do you have a social media account? Does your boss have a social media account? Then most likely the customer who you're trying to reach has a social media account. And we're seeing every year those numbers go up and up and up, where more people are spending more time on social media throughout the day. So you might as well be having conversations with them. I also wanted to bring up, Anthony, people like, cool, I'm just going to post pictures of the house I did, or the deck we built, or we just finished a big project with another company and we're launching a 10-story building, or whatever it is. How does that get me more sales? How does it actually work to have a digital marketing strategy to get me sales? Because a lot of people that I talk with, whether they're in the trade or GC world, they are saying that seems like a lot of work. I don't really see anything for it. I already spent $5,000 on a website. I'm not doing that again. Why? Because nothing ever happened. But are you guys in a place where you're saying, hey, by us being online, it actually helps the bottom line, which is money? Does it actually help bring business in?
What I think, and you touched upon it briefly, is that in this day and age, stuff is always continuously changing, adapting, going faster and faster. So I noticed that, and aside from the big construction giants that are out there, if you're not adapting and becoming one with the trends and what's going on around you, pretty much adapt or die. It's like Blockbuster and Netflix, things like that, right? So for construction, you might not see the immediate result, like, a big client reached out to us directly on Instagram or whatever it may be, or LinkedIn. But those platforms, if you were able to pinpoint exactly who and what device looked at your website or looked at your social media at any given time, you'd be surprised who's actually out there on the web doing stuff late at night, creeping your site, because one of them might be a prospect, right? If you don't have those platforms out there, you're not really reaching that target market. So you have to always just make sure that you cross your T's, dot your I's. You look good on all the different platforms, your unison, and those different things will kind of set you out from the crowd. We like to kind of be, a little more out there, hip kind of this design aspect of it. We have like the EN2 hats, as you're seeing. We got the EN2 gear, stuff like that. We have the QR codes that are going on right now at a couple of job sites that redirect back to our web page. We also have link tree on some of our social medias that allows people to click through and see different things that we're doing. I think it's all important to have a fully integrated marketing communication system, like you're saying, and an operations plan to kind of roll it out.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that I think the biggest advantage, at least from my sense, we do digital marketing as a job. That's what we do. So we're heavily invested in it, and helping companies, go further, faster. The biggest thing I see with digital marketing is, man, do we get so much more data, like you were just talking about. Think of it this way. If you were to do a direct mailer, you pay however money to go out to so many postal codes. You don't know if they opened it. You don't know if they read it. You don't know if they just chucked it. You don't know if it was actually delivered. You're just waiting on the guarantee of the post delivery system to say, yeah, it was delivered. But there's no guarantee. Whereas at least you have the data when you do, let's say, an email marketing campaign, or in Facebook or LinkedIn paid post, paid LinkedIn, paid ad. I can see how many people saw it, how many people stopped scrolling to actually read it, how many people watched the video, how many people clicked the link, how many people, and if you do the right things, how many people went from the ad to the website, and how long did they stay on the website because of it? And I can get demographics of, okay, more men than women saw this by 62 to whatever. You can see like the age demographic. So the information alone is so powerful. So it's worth it. The price of the paid ad or being on digital is already worth the price or investment that you would make, just because now you're getting so much more understanding of who your audience is. And you can start to tweak things to make sure that you're talking to them. I think if you're talking about results, um, helping the bottom line for any company, if nothing happens overnight. You mentioned this too, Anthony. It takes a little bit of time where it's like, okay, start building an audience, start speaking to them. Don't always focus about yourself. Focus on the things that they care about. And eventually you're going to start to see 1, 2, 3 leads a month coming in, if not even more leads in a month, or inquiries, people that are spending more and more time. But it's one of those things like a new skill that you got to add to the tool belt to help you get where you need to go. Okay, before we jump in, Anthony, to the next question I have for you, here are some of the things that I really feel help. Once you have, if you're looking for these things, this is what a digital marketing system can do for you on the 360, all the way around. It can amplify the platform for your brand. It can increase your brand awareness. More people can find who you are and what you do. It's a better way to connect with your audience. Like I said, we have so much more data. And lastly, it's a lead generation machine. It operates on its own. Once you set it up, you now can accept leads, let's say, on your website, and you can be sleeping. Somebody can be on your site, have a question about something that you're specifically doing. Let's say you're specializing, like you guys said, in cannabis retail storefronts. That's something I want to do. So then, okay, let me get in contact with the person that's on the form at the bottom of the page, because I need a cannabis website. And people are searching cannabis construction company. And if you have the right keywords, then EN2 is going to show up on the first page, because they're in Toronto. They do construction. They have a page called cannabis. This is how you're going to help people find you, and not just random, Chinese or Russian bots, people who actually care about your business, who are actually looking to give you money. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get you from point A to point B further, faster. Sure. Okay. Yeah, man. We only have a little bit of time left. I want to make sure we talk about how construction companies can get started. I know you're newer to the EN2 team, maybe a year, maybe 2 years into it. What type of things have you started to do? I know we did a website together for EN2. I'm super proud of that. Lots of great effort went into that, and I know you worked really hard. What types of things does EN2 does as part of like holistic marketing campaigns?
So I think when you take a step back and you look at it from that approach, your marketing campaigns are a little more sophisticated than they were back in the day. Back in the day, newspaper ads, all the old traditional method, you kind of create
flyer on the wall.
Yeah, create one and send it to every single platform, and then whoever printed it out, you never know what happened, right? Now you kind of you could use a post of, let's say, a project that you're working on or got awarded, and you could share that to each platform, but you might tailor your wording on your delivery or image size to different specs depending on what's viewable, who your target audience is. I just think that it's important that if you are going to do something like that, know who your target audience is. The first most important thing is who you're going for, right? Some platforms might have a younger demographic, like you said. Snapchat, traditionally younger, maybe not the decision makers of companies. Maybe there are some, but not the majority. So we don't use Snapchat, for example. But we do heavily use platforms like Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. We have a presence because it was from years ago, but obviously Facebook is kind of moving now compared to what it used to be. I think it's just important to kind of be somewhere that's relevant to who your target is.
Yeah, I think when you're thinking about construction companies getting started, like what you just said is really good. Start with one platform. I think even before that, start with a goal. What do you ultimately want? Is it just leads? Is it awareness? Some people are just trying to get into the right rooms with the right people. So, maybe you just do a couple articles on LinkedIn and you do a couple posts on LinkedIn so people get to know who you are. And then that allows you to have conversations with people that you otherwise would never be in the room with. Some people I want people to come to my website. Come to my website so you can find me and hire me. That might be your goal. So the goal might be multiple things. Maybe you need to have a website because you're trying to win an award for whatever association there is in your city or your town. All these things matter, but you have to know why you're doing what you're doing. Start with a goal, pick a platform, which is what you said. I think is huge. Where do you want to focus? You don't have to be everywhere, but you need to be somewhere where people can find you and understand that you're representing yourself well. That's like your first impression. Think about, again, how would you look somebody up? Let's say I need a plumber. I might put on Facebook, who knows a plumber, or go to Google and type in plumber Toronto, or I might type in on Instagram, plumber with the geolocation turned on. Okay, so when I see something that I like, I click it. What's the first thing that everyone does? We check the profile. Where are they located? Okay, what's the website? Do they have a website? You click the link on there. What do they do when you go there? They probably go into the contact page. Do you have any testimonials, pictures about what you do? That's what everybody else does. Think of it as if you were the one who was the customer. What would you do if you were trying to vet somebody to know whether they're good or not? Is this person actually helpful or not helpful to what I need to get done? So pick a platform, use it well, post consistently. You don't have to post all the time, but just do it on a regular basis. If you can only do once a week, do once a week. If you can only do once every 2 weeks, do once every 2 weeks, and just let it run, as long as you're actually talking to your audience and not just talking about yourself. Vary your content, get involved. So, people respond to you, respond back. Treat this like your first impression with somebody. If they like your post and they leave a comment, you should probably comment back and talk with them and say, hey, thanks for commenting on this. Is there anything we can do? Always hit us up. We're here to help, answer questions. That's the best way to get started if you're somebody who is just thinking, okay, I'm not sure what I'm looking to do, or I'm not sure how I'm going to make this all work. And then it's hard to think about it when you're just starting out, but as you get the hang of it, the last thing is think about this as a bigger content strategy.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is a bigger play here. Maybe, you start doing this and you start maybe having a website that you're proud of that represents you well. Not everybody needs the biggest and the best website. Sometimes you just need to start with a template if you're just starting out. Okay, it represents you well. You're happy with it. Good. Maybe now you can start doing some pitching to other larger projects because you feel I got a website. People can see the work that I've done. I can write a couple proposals here and get moving in the right direction. Think of it as a bigger content strategy, okay? So it's social media. Maybe you can start doing, like you guys have done a podcast, which is excellent for any construction company because it's so niche. There's not many people that do the construction podcast with EN2, and you guys interview excellent people on there. That's part of the larger content strategy. Maybe you do email. Maybe you do what we're doing right now, have a conversation with another trader or another GC, or maybe EN2 does it with one of their project managers. And they talk about the difficulties of managing people's expectations while also delivering excellent transformation. This is the stuff people that are interested in working with you guys that they would want to see, that they would be interested in understanding, that's why projects normally get delayed. There's the supply chain that's happening right now and the pandemic that's happening. I can't get all the things that I normally would get, or I have to be willing to wait. This information is part of an overall content strategy that really helps people be not just a follower of your account, but a fan of your account. What do you think, man?
No, I think you're right. And I think the main thing there, too, for people to take away, Bart, if you're trying to get into the social media space and advertising and branding as a construction company, whether you be new or older, I think that one of the most important things is to sit down with a company like yours, someone who's invested in this and knows what to look for, and also just get in it, do it. First of all, do it. Yeah. Don't just keep delaying it and keep pushing it because I'm busy this week, I'm busy this. It's always going to be busy. Just start the conversation with somebody like Bart, and then they'll help get the juices flowing and the mindset going, and that's going to help you get on the right track. The last thing I can add to that is also we needed to look at other companies for advice or see what they're doing, other construction companies. Don't be shy to do that. Just how people go visit, your website, Bart, or my website, and get ideas, actually come for leads and prospecting. The same thing happens with other competitors. It's not a bad thing to look at your competition and see what they're doing. How can you differentiate yourself? How can you stand out in a crowd that's so, focused in this area or diving into it now? You got to make yourself have an advantage. So I think it's good that we had this chat, and I think it's important that people realize, just like every other industry, you got to be on social media. You got to do it.
You got to do it. If the bank industry and the movies industry and the grocery industry have all changed with the advent of the internet and social media, why not the construction company? And you could be the first in your area. You can be the best in your area by taking the plunge and talking about things that matter to your customers. Anthony, where can people get in touch or find out more about EN2?
So EN2, we are reachable on various platforms. We have www.en2.ca, which is our main website. We also are on Spotify and some other platforms with our podcast. That's the Construction Podcast. And we are pretty good on LinkedIn. Just type in EN2 Development, or our Instagram, which is at EN2 Group.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you guys are looking to connect with EN2, check them out. Super thankful that, Anthony, you were here with us. This is one of our many pieces of content that we're starting to create for the construction industry. We just released the blog out. Go and check it out on our website. And we have a dedicated page about some of the services that we offer for construction companies and GCs on our website as well. So check that out at creativepartner.ca. Thanks, guys, for being here with us. Peace out.